I love video games. They're one of my favorite pastimes, although I don't play as many as I'd like to. That said, I've played some awesome games this year and I want to tell you about them. Note these are games I've played in 2017, not necessarily games that were released. Number 5. Owlboy. This is an indie game that took literally 10 years to make. It features some of the most beautiful pixel art I've seen in a long time, and you can really feel the love poured into this game by the small team of folks over at D-Pad Studios. The game is totally original in concept and world and execution. As you guide Otis and his friends on their journey through a strange, floating world, you'll visit ancient temples, sneak past an army of sky pirates, and see ideas you likely haven't seen in a game before. But what really elevates this game for me is the score. The soundtrack is truly inspiring, at times beautiful, restrained, exciting, and mysterious. Take it from a man who loves video game soundtracks more than your average bear. This is a good one, folks. Number 4. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This game is already at the top of everyone's list for this year, so I don't have too much to add that hasn't already been said, so I'll keep this brief. Breath of the Wild is beautiful and just plain fun. The combat is exciting and rewarding, the world is huge and gorgeously rendered, the soundtrack is subdued but nice, and the game is way better than Skyward Sword. It's no Majora's Mask, but it's the most fun I've had with the Zelda games since The Wind Waker. Number 3. Sonic Mania. This is it, people. Holy moly. Sonic Mania is a game I've literally been waiting 20 years for. As a little kid, the Sonic the Hedgehog games were my absolute favorite. I've poured so many hours into them that I still can go kick ass at them, even with years between playthroughs, because my muscle memory and mental maps of the games are so damn ingrained in me. And as intended, Sonic Mania feels just like another one of those games, and it's the sequel we've deserved for a long ass time. T-Lope's music kicks so much ass, the reimagined levels from Sonic's past feel new and original instead of dated and rehashed. The original content is the best stuff we've seen out of the Sonic the Hedgehog series in decades. I just can't say enough good things about this game. Sega, if you're listening, and I know you're not, give us a Sonic Mania 2. If you want to hear more in-depth on this, I highly suggest you watch King K's review. He's one of my favorite new YouTubers this year, so definitely check him out. Number 2. Dark Souls 3. My experience with the Dark Souls series is rather limited. Before Dark Souls 3, I'd only played a few hours of the first game years before, but goddamn did I have fun with this game. Over the course of about 3 months, I quickly logged over 100 hours on it, and there is still stuff for me to do. I played through the entirety of this game online with a pal, and while that may not be the intended experience, I am convinced it's the most fun way to play this game. It's absolutely gorgeous. Despite taking place in a post-apocalyptic medieval world ravaged by demons and monsters, everything in the game just looks so damn good. From the character models to the backgrounds to the architecture, and the gameplay still truly relies on player skill and mastery of the system, so it's really, really rewarding when you do well. Some of the most fun I've had with a game all year. Number 1. Transistor. Transistor was released in 2014, and I got it right then. It was produced by Supergiant Games, an indie studio with then only one other game under their belt, Bastion. Bastion left such an impression on me that I was sure I would love Transistor. But then I just didn't play it. Until this year. And holy crap. This freaking game, more than anything else I've played this year, Transistor has stuck with me. Everything in this game is hand-drawn, and the visuals are absolutely stunning. The style blends vivid colors in a futuristic Art Deco city with imagery evocative of computer hardware, regularly playing with light, shadows, and depth. The gameplay is rooted in an original semi-turn-based system, where you'll spend some of the game in real time reacting to threats around you, and much of it taking advantage of your ability to stop time and plan out your attacks. The sheer degree of options and customization available to the player are staggering. There are 16 different abilities, each of which can be used in 3 distinct ways, or used to uniquely augment any of the other 15 abilities. So no matter how you like to play, you will never find yourself stuck using a playstyle you don't really like. You're free to experiment, try something new, or really invest in one particular playstyle. Added to all of that, you have an incredibly interesting story which you uncover as you play through the game. There aren't lengthy cutscenes or monologues or walls of text to read. The story simply happens. But the biggest selling point for this game, and the reason it stuck with me so much, is the music. If you haven't picked up on this yet, music is really important to me in weighing a game. And this game may just have the most beautiful, haunting, touching soundtrack of any game I've ever played. The game's protagonist is a famous singer named Red, who at the start of the game has lost her voice. But she can still hum. And throughout the game, you'll hear her humming seamlessly integrated into the game's soundtrack as you stroll the city streets, fight off corrupted computer programs, make daring escapes, and hear from your lone companion. What I love so much about the music of the game is that it wasn't an afterthought. They didn't build the game and then hand it off to a composer to write the music. The music is a core component of the experience, and you can tell that many sections of the game were built with the music that accompanied them specifically in mind. This causes a soundtrack that would already be great on its own to instead be elevated by this beautiful, simple story that might just actually affect you emotionally. And another great thing about this game is that it's short. Even an inexperienced gamer could beat it in under 10 hours, and yes, it's still definitely worth the price tag despite this. If you're the kind of person who likes games but doesn't usually have time to play them, it's easy to work this one into your schedule. If you haven't played Transistor yet, and you like music, or video games, or art, or cyberpunk collapsing futures, or really in-depth gameplay, or a variety of options, or original narratives that you experience through the story rather than having forced down your throat through exposition, you owe it to yourself to play this game. It is a masterpiece, and that is no exaggeration. And that's it. Those are the best 5 games I've played in 2017. Whether you agree with me or not, let me know what you think. Leave a message in the comments. I also want to know what the best games were that you played this year. My backlog of games to play is constantly overflowing, but I'm always looking for new suggestions. And that's all I've got. Thanks for your time, thanks for watching, and have a great day.